A Lady Byrd deed versus a transfer upon death deed. Let's talk about that. While a Lady Byrd deed and a transfer upon death deed have the same purpose, to avoid probate, there are some slight little difference between the two. So let's dive into those differences. Because our wonderful United States allows each state to create their own real estate law, each state is different. So you may run into a state that has a Lady Byrd deed, you may run into a state that has a transfer upon death deed, and you may not even have the option at all. After all, Georgia just passed the law back in 2024 in July to allow Georgians to have access to this transfer upon death deed to avoid the probate process. Now, there's one little caveat I want you to be aware of in the state of Georgia, and that is you have 9 months to go to the courthouse and show that your loved one has passed away and get the deed put into your name. If you wait 9 months and a day, that house is then going to have to go through the probate process. And probate, if you don't know, is very public. So you got to be on top of these things when it comes to the transfer upon death deed. The Lady Byrd deed is 100% revocable if you go and sell the property, whereas with the transfer upon death deed, you must do a cancellation of that deed before you sell the house. Transfer upon death deeds may have anti-lapse protection around them where Lady Byrd deeds may not. So to give you a scenario, let's say that a grandfather, he writes up a will and he only has one son, so all of his belongings are going to go to his son. And unfortunately, the son passes away before the grandfather does, and then soon after, that grandfather passes away. If we did not have an anti-lapse in Georgia, then the grandkids wouldn't have access to the estate. It would fall back on the grandfather's estate. Georgia has set up an anti-lapse provision in their laws so that the grandchildren, which is the natural heirs, can have access to the estate immediately and not get jangled up in a big old probate process. If you have an agent who has durable power of attorney, a Lady Byrd deed can be signed by that agent, whereas with a transfer upon death deed, the homeowner must sign that deed over themselves. Both a Lady Byrd deed and a transfer upon death deed can be revocable. So if the beneficiary you name all of a sudden becomes difficult and you don't want them inheriting that house anymore, or if they become incapacitated in some way and you want somebody else to help them manage that property, you can certainly go back and switch things around while you are still alive. The difference with the two deeds is the transfer upon death deed will require you to go to the courthouse and cancel the transfer upon death deed in order to revoke it. The grantor of the Lady Byrd deed can still live in the property and have all the benefits of the home ownership, while a transfer upon death deed, the homeowner has to take that deed to the courthouse and record it. Now, of course, I'm not an attorney, and if you need a good Georgia attorney to help you get a transfer upon death deed going, I know several good attorneys I could recommend to you. And of course, if you need help in the greater Atlanta area with your real estate, let me know. I'll be glad to help out. And if you need somebody in your neck of the woods, I can make that connection. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Are you digging the kind of content I'm producing? Then be sure to watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll be in the know when I release my next video.